Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Eventual Knits podcast. My name is Leah. I go by Miss_LJV on Instagram and Eventual on Ravelry. Today is Thursday, April 11th, and I'm excited to be here. Last week I did a vlog, which I hoped people would enjoy. That was literally all I did last week, or for the last episode, was actually work on those bags. And so I thought, why not just bring people along, because I felt like I wouldn't have as much to say or like as much content generally to talk about. So I thought it'd be fun to just take you along. And I really personally enjoy vlog style content, and so I thought it might be fun. I'm thinking I will sprinkle those in when it makes sense, but I'll still keep doing my like traditional podcasts as well. I didn't include music in that one. I know some people don't like music, and it's just like easier to just hang out and not worry. But yeah. So what am I wearing? I am wearing, I call this my summer lollipop, but it's a lollipop crop top by Ricci of Getting Pearly With It. So it is a crop top. It ends like mid belly. Well, yeah, still like 5 inches or something from my belly button. I really like to wear it with sweaters, or zip ups, and then it has really short sleeves. It is knit top down and very easy, very quick. I have 2 of them. They were some of the first like t-shirt top style-ish that I had ever knit, and I think that the little detail on the neck is really fun. It's like a little, I don't know, like little V here, and I think that making another one, I know that there are longer versions, and I think that they are a good starting point for someone who wants to try doing t-shirts or tees or any other thing that is a wearable, because it's short, so it doesn't require a ton of knitting and a ton of like time. This is knit in a Malabrigo, and it is a a DK yarn, I believe. Could be worsted, can't remember. I feel like Malabrigo specifically is weird, because like it says it's one thing, but it might not actually be that thing. But yeah, today's weather is the weather's starting to actually get nice. It's starting to be in like the 50s Fahrenheit, and it's supposed to be like 70s this weekend before getting back down into the 50s the following week. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. And as long as we're here, let's talk about those bags that I finished. Oh, and then this is I've had this mug for so long. This is a stockinette knitted mug from Charan Sachar. I don't know if he still makes mugs or not, or still makes this kind of mug, but let's talk about my bags. We'll talk about mine first. So I made 2 bags with the Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one yarn. I crocheted myself sort of diamond style, hexagon style bag with the colorway White Frigid, which I guess makes sense, little sort of Arctic Frigid. And then I used a stitch to crochet myself a strap, 2 straps, and then I put the straps on the same side of the bag so that I will typically wear it like on my side like this. Oh my gosh, it's so hot here. And then I also, in my vlog, you get to come along with me as I figure out how to actually like line the bag and like I hand sewed it on. I was planning on doing a crochet, like sewing it on, or like crochet it on, but I ended up hand sewing it. It really wasn't that bad. So I bought a lining and I was able to line it. And I did use this to get groceries. Like I put some groceries in the bag, and it's, as I had expected, or had guessed, these straps stretch a ton with heavy weight. Like they get like really thin and stretch. And so I'm very glad for Steve's bag that I used a like nylon strap that I bought from Joann's. But I did use the back stitch for both of the bags. And I used a cotton fabric. It was very easy to do. Like once I actually just got brave enough to do it, it was not as scary to do. So I'm really happy with this bag. It was so nice not to have to weave in all of those ends and just have the colors already picked for me. But I think even more than that, Steve really, really, really likes his bag. So his bag is a messenger style bag. So I had a little bit more trouble than with my bag. I could not like conceptually figure it out, but I realized what I should have done, what probably was not worry about the pocket part. What I was trying to do was I had laid them out like this, and I was trying to figure out how to do a continuous join as you go when these are facing the rug a different way than these ones. And I ended up actually starting on the pocket, or like the bottom part, and I ended up going like this, and then I did the center one, and then I did these ones and attached them. I didn't have that many extra ends to weave in. It was not that big of a deal. I attached everything with slip stitch. I don't remember what color this one is, but again, there's not that many colors, like you could figure it out. But yeah, so I did his messenger bag, and got him a lining as well. And then I bought a nylon strap, and I cut it and melted the ends when we figured out how long we wanted to make it, and I hand sewed this on, and I added I had a fun color that like matched one of the colors on here to be a nice contrast color. He has, so if I'm putting a picture up, which I'm sure I am, of me wearing it, he's much taller than me, so this is cut to like his height to wear like this, like crossbody on his side. And he loves it. Like, he is obsessed, and I'm so happy. And it was not that difficult, and I would highly recommend if you're interested in doing something like that yourself as well. My bag took, I guess I could count. I'm pretty sure my bag took 14 squares. $13 squares, right? 1, 2. $13 squares, and his bag took 18 squares. So my bag was made with one skein, or like there's 2 extra squares, but 1 skein of the Red Heart yarn, and Steve's took 1 and then a few squares from a second skein. So very cheap to make overall, and I steam blocked them to get the fibers to relax, especially because I slip stitched all the squares together. And when you do that, they kind of like do this a little bit, like sort of tent up. So I steam blocked them to sort of get them to relax back down. And I am very, very pleased. He's already gotten several compliments on his bag, which is adorable, especially because, you know, people feel some kind of way a lot of times about, you know, Red Heart and whatnot. And while there's probably something to be said about the durability and probably fading potential, I think that, I mean, acrylic is pretty sturdy as far as fibers go, and it wasn't that difficult to make, and it was honestly kind of fun. His bag especially did not take nearly as long as I thought it would, and so it's good to know that I can do that again in the future. So I don't have pattern names for each of my bags. Like, I added the Granny Square bag pattern by Carolyn Calderon, but again, I didn't follow any part of that pattern except for how to lay out the squares, because I didn't know how to like organize them. I guess I think there's a free version of that pattern, because I believe I went to that person's blog and looked at how to lay them out, and then there's like a schematic for the order to crochet them, to crochet them together in, which I think I followed mostly, not completely. I know I veered off at some point, and I think part of that is because I was slip stitching them because I didn't need an additional, like the idea of join as you go often is that you do all of your rounds minus your final round of granny stitch. And so since the Red Heart yarn, you have to do all 5 rows, then to get them together you need to do something different, unless you really do want an additional row, which I did not. So slip stitch it is. Those are like the big things that I finished. I also finished this really cute, adorable little coaster. It is a yarn done by Heidi and Lana. And so like there were little kits. It was a collaboration. So Heidi and Lana yarn, Homestead DK, 100% merino. So it is like, it's like, I want to say it's rustic, but I don't think it would be rustic on the skin though. It's just not as soft as superwash. And yes, it's adorable. I guess when I blocked it, I didn't cause I only was trying to block it for like making the edges look a little even. I did not consider blocking it to make the yarn details even. Let's see if I have that pattern up. Oh yes, it's called Amore and by Margaret. I don't know, that's their Ravelry name. But this was the first time I ever did color work that I can think of in garter stitch, and so it was kind of fun. If you look at the back, there were a decent amount of ends. It does have you split the yarn into 2 balls, which kind of reminds me of doing bobbins with crochet, which I don't do, but I have watched videos of before. And I immediately forgot that I was supposed to do that in this first row, and so I did carry the yarn up for this one, and then after that I remembered, and then it does have you for 2 rows, 3 rows maybe, carry the 1 ball back and forth in order to do the center, that center part. But it was very easy. Super quick. I did this in an evening yesterday in just a couple hours. And the kit, you got to pick 2 colors as your background color. And so I picked this one. This one, as I said, was barley. And then I also have like a creamy white that I'm going to make another one. And I believe that you can make at least a set of 4, if not more, because, you know, it doesn't actually use that much yarn. And so I'm going to do that, and they're so adorable. It's sturdy and so cute. I first saw them on a Homespun House vlog. I think it was during Vlogmas, I believe. She was promoting, like she did the patterns, and so she was promoting the kits and whatnot. And I'm so glad I bought them. It's very much not the normal kind of kits that I would buy, or even the normal kind of yarn that I would see and think, oh, I should make something with this. Like this is not normal, but I really like it. It's very hygge. It's very cozy, and I think that's something that Molly of a Homespun House is very good at identifying. So that is the Amore by Margaret. That's everything that I have finished. Let's talk about what I am working on. So in my Black Pearl Magic little iridescent bag that I got for Christmas, I have my Prismatic sweater by Wool and Pine Designs. So I am still trucking along. I have been just doing the body. I believe you're supposed to knit until the body is 12 inches from the armhole, and I only work on this in the car, so we don't tend to take trips longer than like 20-30 minutes max, especially with like a baby in the car. So I don't get a ton of work on it at a time, and this is figuring weight, but I am making progress. I mean, I could make it shorter if I wanted to. If I was smarter, I would have brought my tubes and maybe tried it on. But either way, this is a top-down sweater, obviously. I split for the sleeves. It has a really pretty yoke chart detail, and unfortunately I do not remember what yarn. This is a one-off skein, the bright color in the background. I wish I did, but I don't know where it came from. And then the purple, this is purple, not black. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to pick it up, but it is like a very deep purple as that contrast color, and that is a contrast color from Knit Circus. And all yarn details are included. Of course, I ran out of storage space on my phone, so I had to delete some things. I think what I was saying was I don't include yarn details in my description, but I do include chapters and links to each of my project pages, so that gives additional details, especially if you want to follow along with the progress or like learn about how I did things and whatnot. So and then the main color of this yarn is a bee woolen color. Let's see if I think I do. So the bee woolen is it's bee woolen sock in going gray. Oh, and the Knit Circus color is Midnight Moon, and it is a BFL, a blue face Leicester. So it is a little bit like snaggier, you know, catchier, like, I guess that is rustic literally. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the progress of how this is going so far. I'm not in a hurry to finish it just because, first of all, it's really easy knitting in the car, and it's not going to be winter for a while, and so I'm like really into the idea of summer knits right now. My problem is that I'm a baby, and summer knits, especially like tanks, camis, anything like that, are typically bottom up, and I know it's not even that big of a deal. It truly isn't, especially for something that's not going to take that much time, but my brain is like, no, top down only, and I don't know why. I just am like that. So yeah, last time I was talking about my Ardea Ardea top, and that is by Ksenia Naidyon, and that's in Hobie Happy Place by the collaboration with Hobie from Tony Lipsy, TL Yarn Crafts. And I did have to rip it back and start it over. So I'd done 12 rows, even though it didn't look like 12 rows. I didn't completely start over, so you can see I have all this extra stitching. What's actually funny is that supposedly Happy Place is a DK yarn, but I'm doing the long version of this top, and the amount of stitches that I had for the long version of this top was like 7 inches longer than what it was supposed to be, because it's knit this way, like side to side basically. And so the number of cast on stitches you have is the length that the sweater will be. And I just don't know why, I just didn't even think about it and cast on the exact number of stitches for my size, supposedly. And when I did my last episode, I realized that it was way too long. So I did end up having to rip it back and have to rip it back to the very first row, but at least I didn't have to redo the provisional cast on. I just got to rip back and just take these extra stitches out. The number of stitches I have is actually, I want to say it's the number of stitches for the longest, or for the biggest size of the crop. So that means when I actually do the crop, well, I was gonna say what it means when I actually do the crop, I'm gonna need to make it even shorter, but I don't know if that's actually the case. I think you only need repeats of 2 anyway. Like you could determine, like you're gonna have to do a little bit of math, I'm sure, later, but it's not like the pattern itself or like the different techniques, the different styles within the pattern don't require like multiples of 3 or multiples of 7 or anything like that. I think it's just 2. But the yarn that I have for the crop version definitely, I guess, is thinner, much thinner than, much thinner than Happy Place. It's supposed to be a DK. Let's see if we can get that. Much thinner. And this is the exact yarn that is in like the original So maybe I won't have to change how much I cast on when I actually do that. But I think I also have too many, like I bought extra skeins. I feel like I won't need that many. But anyway, so I haven't made any progress since ripping it out and starting over. I have just gotten halfway on the braid. I don't remember what kind of braid it is. It's not Lavian, it's some other braid. And then tangled up with it is a project that I found in a backpack that I definitely, a sock that I knit when I was visiting friends in Madison. And it has my cute little, my little frog girly that matches from Whitney Marie Anderson. Cutie. So I did this sock, it looks like, in full ribbing. I did do a heel turn though. I don't know if I actually am doing a real pattern for it. I didn't even check. Yeah, I have no idea like what, like if I just made this up or what. This was so long ago because the last time I was in Madison, like if I worked on this the last time I was in Madison, and I don't think it was the last time, I think it was actually a few years ago, because we were at the Sow's Ear in Verona, and they had this amazing yarn, like this contrast color, like it's absolutely not doing it justice. It's so cute. And so you could pick, you get the contrast color, and then you could pick a color to go with it off the wall. And oh no, I was just thinking like, I mean, I have this, but I don't have like what the colors were or anything like that. And I obviously hand wound this in the car because it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive from here to get to Madison. And yeah, anyway, you could pick a color. Like they had a blue and they had a you know, probably a, I don't know, a yellow and whatever, but this green was like the most perfect thing. And then me and a couple of my friends bought, like twins basically, bought twin skeins. And we were all excited to use them. And then I forgot about this. And so I just tried on this sock yesterday, and this is almost to the toe. I think it needs a little bit further to actually be at the toe, but I just don't know if this heel will be good for me and if this is tight enough. I feel like it's still a little loose, even though I definitely like sized down. So it's the, oh God, do I finish this? Or maybe do I finish this and then do the second sock in the Vanilla's the New Black pattern, which is what I really want to try, that heel, which is a version of a ribbed heel, but it's like, it has like an interesting pattern. I'll put a picture of it, but like maybe it sits nicer on the foot. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just finish this one. Don't rip it out. Like I have a full ass sock finished. Maybe I'll finish the toe and then I'll do something else for the, maybe I'll do the Vanilla's the New Black. I own the pattern, so maybe I'll do that. But yeah, this is the contrast. It's so fun, so interesting. And then this beautiful lime green is the main color. Very springy. But yeah, I took it out last night, and then I was like, I don't want to deal with this right now, so I'm just gonna set it back down again. I have one more thing that I'm working on. Did I not bring it upstairs? I'll be right back. Okay, in my Pokemon bag is my last thing. So as I said, am excited about summer tops. And so I decided to start a summer top that would be quick and fun and easy. And it is the Look at My Holes by James and Watts. I'm out of breath. I'm running downstairs. So far, it's been easy. It's like fast and slow at the same time. Like you have to constantly be looking because you're doing an interesting lace pattern. I guess I'm not gonna give away the secret sauce, but it's an interesting lace pattern, and so it's not one that you can just do mindlessly because you're transferring stitches back and forth on the needles. And I am also making this out of a Hobie yarn, out of the Happy Place with Tony Lipsy. It is this color, which is called, it is a solid, it's not a melange. Oh yeah, I forget that the color's on here. It's just color 1, and it looks like a cream-ish from here, but it definitely has like pink undertones. It like is very, very warm, very warm. Like, don't know if you'll be able to catch it on here or not, but Look at My Holes is actually designed to be worn over like a very, like almost like a bandeau, or I don't want to call it a crop top. Is it a it's not a cami. Bralette, like a bralette. And I'm not gonna knit a bralette, and I probably won't wear a bralette with it. I would say probably like just a tank. Would be nice, or maybe like a thin strap tank or something, or could even be a, you know, like a bodysuit or something like that. I think would be really good. And yeah, it's been really fun. I would say I am like a third of the way done probably, and I probably will make it longer because again, it is a crop. We'll see. I mean, I do like when things sit on my waist, but it'd be really nice to do like a long version that is just very like flowy, that I can wear over anything in the summer and just like have it be really nice. Hobie, or the Happy Place yarn, is I think 60% wool. No, it's 50% cotton, 50% wool. So it is very nice. It's so funny that this says it's light. I feel like this is such a heavy, like this says it's a 3. I feel like it is not, but you know. But yeah, so this is where I'm at so far. It's going really fun. It's got like such a fun like shoulder detail, and it's gonna look really nice once it's blocked. And I am just using the recommended needles, even though I know that my gauge is often bigger, because if it's a little bit looser, then great. And it's pretty slow going. Cotton really hurts my fingers. Like, my fingers are always so sore using cotton. And 2 projects right now are using the exact yarn with cotton in it. So it is taking me a little while, but I'm just doing a little bit every day. And I'm still so, like, I'm so excited to do summer things. And I feel like, and to wear summer things. I have a few summer tops, and I'm very excited to wear them. Like, I think I have like 4 or 5, and I think it will go really well this summer. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to making more summer tops. So speaking of, Iris of, it's like, is it Hiris? Is it Hiris? Her name is, or the person's name is Iris H, and but their Instagram handle is H Iris Makes. So is it Hiris Makes, Hiris Makes, H Iris Makes? Anyway, they're doing a knit along, and which includes a Discord of summer tops through the 1st of July. So I think it recently started, and it just goes whenever you want until July. And I think towards the end of the make along, people will get like a 25% off code, I assume, for their patterns or something. But patterns that I am interested in for their make along include the Bedruthin camisole. It is, again, it's bottom up. I did buy it already. I actually went to, it is a fingering weight. I'm like pulling up all the patterns here. Fingering weight camisole, but it looks, even though it says 0 to 2 inches of negative ease, it looks like a lot of people did more than that of positive ease. So I guess less negative ease, more positive ease. But it is such a cute tank top, and it looks so comfy. And it has like a cute little on the neckline. Yeah, I definitely think I am going to make it. I just wasn't in the mood. I was like thinking, I don't have fibers for summer tops, technically. Like, I mean, this is wool. All of my other tops are wool except for one, which is I want to say it's a silk linen blend maybe, or a silk wool blend. But I could make the bed within top. Right now I have tons of fingering weight. It just would be wool. And so it's just a matter of, will I find it too hot or not? That's hard to say. I kind of feel like I should go buy yarn for that top if I really, really want to commit to it being a summer top, even though I really want to use up some of my fingering weight so I can add in more DK. But anyway, I'm very excited about that. It has over 1,100 favorites on Instagram, on Ravelry, which is, compared to some of the other ones, is pretty high, I feel like. Another one that I'm interested in is the summer slipover top, which looks like just more of a sort of simple, like, I think they use slipover to sort of mean vest almost, but it's not exactly a vest, but it has like, it looks a little bit thicker yarn. It has like a fun detail all the way down, and it again seems really nice. Let's see what yarn they used in theirs. It's a bulky weight one, and they use Sandnes Garn Tick Line. Let's see what that is. It's 50% cotton and then viscose / rayon, and then a little bit of cellulose. Oh, a little bit of linen / flax. Okay. I'd be willing to try that yarn. Sandnes Garn is pretty good. Another one I'm interested in is the strawberry top. And so they have a strawberry top and the strawberry top light. So the strawberry top light is obviously fingering, and the strawberry top regular is Aran. Interesting. So it's like actually pretty heavy. But they're like just nice little tank tops with eyelets. And again, like, looks like 0 inches of ease to maybe a couple inches of positive ease, like nice and loose. I probably wouldn't make it too loose because I just feel like because of the like difference in my bust for like the rest of my body, if I make it too loose, it's gonna be like really loose on my body. So I don't want it that loose. I probably knit it with less positive ease, if any. And then lastly, I want to knit the ivy top, but I think it's still in testing. Interestingly, like the posts on Instagram are very confusing on whether or not it's still in testing or not, but it's like a really nice looking sort of cable top. I did screenshot a picture of it it's on my phone though, so I'll put a picture of it up here, but it looks so cute, and it's not in any of their pattern in their store at all. So I assume it's still in testing, but if it becomes out of testing, I would love to see it. And it's so funny because, you know, most designers on Instagram, when they make hashtags, they add like their name or they make it something long and unique. But Iris just tagged it as hashtag Ivy Top, and that means a lot of things to a lot of people, it turns out, on Instagram. So I have not been able to find any other pictures other than like the 2 that I found on their feed. And I'm excited to join that knit along. I haven't joined the Discord yet, but I will now. I didn't realize there was a Discord until I investigated further. I just thought in my head, like, oh, that seems like a fun make along. I'll do that. Yeah, that seems cool. And then I just bought the pattern and didn't start it yet, etc. So feel free to join me. If you are going to join me, let me know what top/tops you're going to make, and if you just plan on joining and you're not really sure yet. But I would love to hear from you, or just in general, like what you're excited about for summer knits or summer crochet things. Summer is a great time for crochet. Like, I know there's a lot of like, you know, granny square things you can make, but I feel like there's a lot of just like sort of flowy, very similar to the Look at My Holes, right? Like just open weave things that you can make in crochet if you are good at crochet. So if you're crocheting, let me know. That's it for knitting, crocheting, etc. I do think I might get started on some socks soon. I've been really avoiding doing some socks, but I think I want to be using up some of my sock yarn. So I think I'll also be doing a little bit of that here and there in the future as well. But yeah, that is it for my main knitting content, and I'm going to move into some life stuff. So a big thing is I think we finalized basically like all of the major details for our wedding. The last sort of things we're trying to figure out is like hair and makeup, like day of stuff. Again, just trying to figure out the last little bits of day of stuff. We did end up taking my engagement ring. I don't know if I mentioned on this podcast or not, but I absolutely destroyed my engagement ring. And I think it was when I was moving this table thing, like I was lifting it, and I think in doing that, I bent it, and I just completely bent it. I lost one of the stones out of it, which I learned when I went to Shane Co. that it is very common in any ring to lose the smaller stones just because the way they're placed and the way that they're like, I don't know, glued in. I don't know how they set them in there. But, and so basically they said like, if you go to like a standard jeweler, they often insure the rings for life, and then we'll replace them. We'll replace like stones that fall out. It's just like a matter of course. It's what's expected. I also learned that it's also really common to like get bored of like the band that you have and transfer like the main stone to a different band, or keep the band but then take the stone out and then add a different stone in. So the place that Steve bought my engagement ring from initially is a European online store, and when we went back to them to like ask about the ring, because they do lifetime repairs if it's savable, so they were basically like, that ring is absolutely not savable. We recommend you go to a different jeweler and have them like save the main stone and reset it in a different band. So we brought it to Shane Co. And that's like, if you're not Minnesota, that's just like I assume just a local family-owned business. I think it is. They have 2 locations. Everyone knows the jingle.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business, the Shane Company, in Minnetonka at 394 and Hopkins Crossroad, and in Woodbury at I-94 and Radio Drive. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5, online at shaneco.com.
Feel free to state it in the comments, because I know everyone loves it. And they said that they could try to actually fix the ring for a fee. And they didn't say this in like a threatening or like kind of way. They were very, what I loved about them is they were very matter of fact, that were like, we could fix it. Like, it probably is fixable. They said that obviously their diamonds are slightly different than the diamonds that are in there. So if they replace that diamond stone, it just would look a little bit different than the stones that were in there, because my band had diamonds along the side and then diamonds around the crown of the I had a lab created alexandrite. It was so pretty. I'm keeping it. I love it. And they said, like, if they tried to reshape it, what they'd have to do is just like, as you reshape it, then all of the little stones will start coming out like teeth, and so they just have to reset all of those. And then they would have to apply heat. Also, if we were going to like take the whole stone off with the setting that it had, then that would have to apply heat, and that would be a greater risk of damaging the stone itself, the main stone. But basically, they said that my ring was delicate enough and high enough gold content. That's what I was trying to think of, not quantity. I mean, it is, but that I would keep running into that issue. Like, I would probably bend it again at a later date, which makes sense, and I agree and believe that. And we had specifically, I did want like a very delicate band, but I want a band that's delicate enough, like thin enough, without risking having to go through this all the time, because I am very hard on my things. Not on purpose, I just am. I'm just like a brute with all of my stuff, and so I need it to be either easily fixable or just durable enough. So we could have paid a fee to have them try that, and I think if Steve had his way, that's what he would have wanted, because obviously he picked, I would consider it like the most perfect ring, exactly, like for me, exactly. And people who've seen it in person agree it's like beautiful and gorgeous, whatever. and I would like a ring that I'm not constantly breaking and needing to get fixed. So we ended up picking out a different band and a different setting. And so what they're doing right now is they're taking the main stone out of my current band and then resetting it into that band. And basically he bought me 2 engagement rings because it costs about the same as the original ring. But I do really like it. Steve says it's 10% worse. But he knows that it's, you know, we both know he picked the perfect ring the first time. I really like it, and I also feel very peace of mind that when something happens to it again, 1, it probably won't be that I've bent the whole band, and 2, that like when stones fall out or whatever, that we can easily get them replaced. I feel very good about that. And while we were there, I was actually able to find a band that I really liked for a wedding band. I was planning on just getting a plain, really cheap band, but I found one that I think is actually like my ideal band, and it's not too expensive. So yay. And we ordered Steve's wedding band offline, off the internet, and I'm excited about that as well. So that was like the major thing. And I learned a lot about rings that day. Like we were there for a couple hours, I swear, just like talking and you know, going through all the options, and it was just very cool to learn what we learned. And we got to do the thing where we looked at the like you know, before we signed over my ring, we had to look at the main stone with the little magnifying glass thing to like see it's exactly what it described and like what they valued that stone at and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool to like see all the cuts and whatnot in there. Yeah, and then I guess the other thing is that in a week, my son turns 1 year old. 1 year old. We have survived a whole ass year. I cannot believe it. We were gonna have like a pretty small, I mean, we're having a very informal birthday party for him. And it's like my mom's side of the family and then friends is basically what we're having it as. But it's not like a party. It's just like a gathering that he's going to be at. And I haven't decided what we're gonna serve him yet for like a treat. He's not really interested in like cakes or cookies or anything like that, but we do want to give him something fun to play with. He only likes getting messy when it's his idea, so I'm very curious how this will go. He does not like it if he's being forced. It needs to be like, where it's like you set something in front of him and you like try to make him touch it or something. Absolutely not. He has to think that like, whoa, what's this thing? I'm interested in it. But yeah, it'll be a good time, and that's not this weekend, but the following weekend. And yeah, my cat, my remaining cat turns 17. I can never remember if his birthday was the 7th or the 17th, and who's gonna know? So we're just calling it the 17th this year because we missed the 7th. So 17th of April, he's turning 17. It's his golden birthday. Happy birthday, Nero. Still miss Grim a ton though. A ton. I finished Dark Souls Remastered. I beat it. It was so good. My favorite boss in the whole game was the boss, one of the bosses of the DLC, and it was so good and so fun. And I streamed a lot of it, you know, just because I have friends who want to watch, and so I have like VODs of that, and it was a really good time, and I am excited to play more. But Steve's podcast that he does with another person, they do a sort of incentive every year for gaming. So like the other year it was, you know, beat a game that starts with every letter of the alphabet and then every number 0 to 9 kind of thing. And then this year it's a bingo. And so my board, or the center square on the board, was beat a Souls game. So I beat Dark Souls, and so that was my center square. And then you know, obviously there's now multiple directions I can go. I think I'm gonna go a direction where it's like beat a handheld game, beat an import game, beat a racing game, and then maybe beat a shoot 'em up, I think. So that would be really fun. So I think I might do a handheld as my next game. We did recently just buy what I assume is an analog of Kirby Tilt and Tumble. If you ever had a Game Boy Color and you got to have like the tilt mechanics, it's called like Yoshi Topsy Turvy or something like that. We just picked it up from a game store in Hastings, and we didn't even like look at the back or anything. It was just like, has the case, has the manual, is a tilt or is the tilt mechanics kind of game. Obviously we're gonna buy it, so I'm really excited. Maybe I think that will be my next game. And Steve continues to play through Final Fantasy Rebirth, which is such a good game. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I don't know if I said 7 out loud. So good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We're getting close to the end game. It's always wild when he gets to the end of like a really long game. Even though there's so many games he could be playing, it's like, what do we do now? As for reading, I haven't done a lot of reading recently because a lot of our weekends, there hasn't actually been a lot of time to be doing stuff. We've had a lot of busy weekends, so there hasn't been a lot of like dedicated time, and I was like working on the bags, for example, on my free time. So I haven't been reading as much, but I do still have a few books that I have them like sitting over on my desk that I do definitely want to be reading. But that's all I've got. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Again, please let me know what your plans are for summer makes, and if you are going to be planning to join the Iris summer make-along, or if you're doing some kind of other make-along. Let me know. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.